Welcome to the Next Level Show. We have a Mindset Monday episode ready, and now you guys on the YouTube can see that I'm no longer solo. That was scary. I didn't know what I was doing for like the first 5 minutes, I think, and but I ran with it. I think that the episode turned out really good, and it was a lot of like takeaways for people to be able to apply, which is always the kind of the purpose of the podcast. Quick reminders before we kind of catch up with everyone. If you're listening to this on an audio platform, make sure to take a quick pause or open up another tab wherever you're listening to this and go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to get that up and going. We have the video format for the people that prefer to see our reactions and what we're doing on camera. Big things coming with that. So just a little help on there. It will notify you every time there is a new episode. Give the videos thumbs ups on the YouTube platform, but also on the platform, a way that you can help us continue to grow and get more people and reach more people with this information is by leaving a 5-star rating and review on the platform of choice. And this just, like I said, to help podcast grow, get this message out, make a big impact, so on and so forth. Turn it over to the guys. How's everyone doing? I know Mike started a new job. Gabe was traveling the world, saving children. And now Gabe looks spiffy. He has look at that.
Oh.
He's officially hired to the Next Level Show after the 200 episodes.
Finally, my what do you call that? Internship is over.
Yep.
I finally got it. Okay, good, great.
I had a year internship.
So Mike, do we now each have to do our own solo episodes to do all the combinations? Because I've done one with John. I've done one with you. You guys have done one together. I think the only combination left is me by myself and you by yourself.
I mean,
am I wrong?
I can't promise you that an episode of me by myself isn't going to just divulge into why anime is awesome and why you should watch it. So
that sounds like an awesome episode. I don't see the problem.
Yeah, well,
I see that as an absolute win.
Okay, well then, yeah, sure.
Okay.
If the listeners like that idea, let us know in the comments and the review part, or send us messages at the Next Level Show Instagram page and give this video a thumbs up. And if we get enough, we know that that's actually a good sign.
Yeah. So finally back after I'm still not back into like what day it is today. I have no idea what today is. I totally forgot to put out the trash, the recycle to get picked up today because I didn't know what the hell day it was. We got back, was it 2 days ago? And it was from we drove up to Chicago, stopped in Atlanta, stopped in Kentucky, stopped in Indianapolis, stopped in, I want to say at least one more place, and then back. And it was just a great time. Good food. It's great to kind of get away, just to get a perspective of kind of like where you're at, either things that you'd like, things that you don't like. For instance, things that I do like from like when we were in Chicago. We got there after driving at like 11 o'clock at night. And then after checking into the hotel, we just realized, oh shit, things close at midnight over here. We could have gotten some Chicago pizza at that time, but we kind of like jacked up. So that's a good to have that availability there. It's always nice. Things not so nice. The tons of traffic that I kind of ran into, especially in Atlanta and like that central hub. It's just so crazy, and it just makes me just, I guess, thankful of what we have here and where we can just go out. And traffic is like what you get backed up at a light, maybe 5 minutes, right? So yeah. Outside of that, it's pretty cool. Good times over there, good food. We ended up seeing. Did you guys get a chance to see the Black Widow movie? Any interest in going to see that?
Not yet.
Okay, well, a lot of people were kind of like shitting on the reviews on the movie, saying that like it's just terrible, it's the worst. First off, no, it's not. It was a pretty good movie. One, I can tell you like worse movies than that. Like I did not like the first Thor. Second Thor was okay. It had one scene that was I guess saved the movie for me. Ant-Man Part 2, I didn't care too much for it outside of Paul Rudd's I guess on-screen time, and even that, it was just like I could have done without. So for the people to say that it was like the worst movie, it was just like it's really not that serious. It was pretty good. It set things up. I mean, it was in a weird place because it happened before Endgame or Infinity War. So there wasn't that drama of like, is she going to make it? Is something going to happen? But then again, is that really in any of the comic movies?
Yeah.
Is Captain America going to die in this? Is Captain Marvel going to be taken out? No, the answer is no. So it's good stuff. I would totally recommend it. As I would recommend finishing watching Loki. Have you guys finished that?
Yes.
Oh my goodness,
So good.
John.
Oh
I'm behind
man.
on it.
Okay, you. So in the other shows, it wasn't really pivotal or important for the rest of the. You can miss those series like Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and you'll be fine. You'll still be okay with the movies. But this one is pretty important. It sets things up as to how things are going. Besides that, it was also pretty awesome. It had, I guess, kind of spoiler, different versions of Loki. That was the whole gist of it, and it covered like.
I don't think that's a spoiler.
Is okay. So it had like a Lady Loki, which people were bugging out about. It had a Kid Loki, which was pretty great. It was a very good comic accurate adaptation of the character. And it had a bunch of other ones, and it had like, for instance, him in his classic, the yellow suit with the cape and the horns and everything. That was pretty great. And I'm sure people have seen that in the promotional images of it. So it was just great. I would highly recommend that, especially the last episode. You might need to watch that like again. I feel like I need to see it again just to kind of catch all the little things. What do you think, Mike?
Oh, I completely agree. I'm team alligator Loki. Just for the record, and yeah, it does get wild enough. There is an alligator Loki. I'm perfectly okay with saying that. It's not a spoiler. It's just a fun little what the fuck, and it works. I agree with everything you just said. My only comment is it's really nice to see a show tackle something as complex and complicated as time travel, and I think they fucking nailed it. They did a really good job of making it just enough to where it's like, oh wow, like this is like a really interesting and complex problem that they're dealing with, and they dumb it down enough to where you can understand like what's going on, and you're not like losing track of like what the fuck are they even doing right now, where are they. So I really like that, and I agree that's like a must watch for MCU, without a doubt.
I'm gonna take a quick little pivot, just for my people that watch sports. So big fight this past week. Well, the UFC card that passed, the final trilogy fight between Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier.
Hey, what happened to your boy?
It has been concluded that Poirier won the trilogy. He is now 2-1
Did he though?
against. Yeah, he did. I
mean,
regardless
he has the
of
win.
how,
Yes, on the scorecard it is. He has the win, but I mean, did he? Like, what would you take out?
He won the round.
Okay.
So if you're gonna go based on points, he did win legitimately. Even though Conor's still talking smack, even with a broken foot, he was still talking smack on the floor. It's unfortunate. I was looking forward to a good fight, regardless of what the fight was gonna be. But the fact that it ended, this is what's happening a lot in the sport, is a lot of leg injuries, and we're talking severe bone injuries. Like,
has there been
bones? Yeah, absolutely. Even a couple weeks ago, there was another athlete that kicked and snapped his shin in half. It's interesting to see, like, as the sport, the combat sports has evolved, the strategies have changed over time. There was a big craze with Brazilian jiu-jitsu that took over, and it changed the game from just maybe boxing or like a Muay Thai fighter. Then they started mixing it more into literally mixed martial arts. You start adapting different styles and different strengths. And another big thing that came into it was leg kicks. Leg kicks over the last couple of years have become like lower leg kicks. You're talking about shin on shin. You're aiming for the calf and the softer muscles, but you're striking there. And you usually, if the person checks, you're striking bone on bone. What causes this? A lot of minor fractures in the shins, which is what is led to believe that as to why it snapped while him stepping back, it completely broke his tibia. A couple kicks, he was going in hard. I think he looked great in standing, but then there was a ground and pound situation where Dustin Poirier just looked so much bigger than him physically. I think Conor was about like mid 160s. I think Justin was like mid, almost 170s, low 170s. So significant weight class difference. First fight, Conor just completely obliterated him in 145 weight class. They fought twice in the 155. I think Dustin does fantastic in the 155. because he's just bigger and he can take bigger blows. It builds into his frame a little bit more. He's not as frail when he's as light. You're losing power and strength when you're super small. Your body just not adapted in that state. So yeah, Dustin Poirier, cheers to him. I think he's a great guy too. I mean, Connor talked a lot of smack, but hey, you lost, man, at the end of the day. Even though I love the guy.
They didn't say he's going to leave in a stretcher.
Yeah, he said he was gonna base everything that he said that was gonna happen to Dustin happened to him in verbatim. So I think the moral of the story is don't talk a lot of shit if you don't want to be embarrassed on one of the biggest stages of the world. Ironically enough, he's still riding around in his little scooter currently with his foot with a titanium shin bone. So they replaced it. All they needed was the Wolverine dosage. They needed to put him and submerge him underwater and then just put adamantium. What is it? Adamantium. I said it almost in Spanish, right? So
sounded like it.
Just to cover up my lack of knowledge, but I think he would be solid there if they could replace it. But that sucks,
so
man.
With you said with leg kicks, they've been kind of like taken on now. But they haven't always been towards the shin area. No, weren't they used to be like towards
leg,
the thigh, the upper leg?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
but
now
they figured out to be more effective. You can dismantle a fighter if you strike them in the lower leg because there are nerves in in the calf that if you hit them, which would happen to him in the second fight, he wasn't expecting it because he hasn't gone against a fighter that was so efficient at leg strikes as Dustin at that point. And it struck a nerve that paralyzes basically your Achilles. Like your foot goes numb. You can't put weight and it swells up. And it basically, if you got sciatica, but on the bottom half of your leg. So your whole leg goes numb. And it puts you basically where you're not able to move on the canvas much. You can't get away and put weight on it without falling over. So,
and if somebody goes for a leg kick and you check it, so you said it's bone on bone, is it more like detrimental to the kicker or the kicky? Is that a word? Kicky?
It is now.
Okay.
It is now based on Greg Contreras. You go next to Joe Rogan while they're narrating the fights. Like the kicky has been taking this strike. So basically it hurts either or for both, but what's happened is when someone checks that kick, you are also putting a counter force against that person's strike. They're obviously, when you get kicked, if the foot's loose, you can move their leg from underneath them. But if you go against them and you know it's coming, people's bones, like Anderson Silva was a prime example years ago when the leg just snapped. That's basically what will happen because of all these little tears, these fractures in the bone. Eventually it becomes frail and it breaks just like anything. So it's throughout the years punishment. That's a very, very short-lived career depending on how you fight. That's why I think Khabib did fantastic, because he was a grappler and would maul you on the floor and win without having to get hit. So it's just like that's why it's mixed martial arts. To each their own.
That did lead to one of my new favorite memes of Joe Rogan in that seated position next to Conor McGregor with the microphone, leading to some really, really good memes where they're just plugging him in, like, so tell me about what just happened. And it's like the worst one, but the best one that I've seen so far is after the JFK assassination, when like Jackie Kennedy's leaning over the trunk of the car and Joe Rogan's sitting on the hood of the car. He's like, so explain to me what just happened.
Oh,
I did not see that one.
Yeah, God, I hope they don't get censored for this.
Oh God.
No, I'm kidding.
No.
But I actually, like you said, alligator LOKI, which triggered me to think about the video I just shared with you guys on what's going to be today's mindset topic. So for those that know us, we've made actually a motivational quote episode. If you scroll down on our audio platform, we go over quotes that actually like impacted us. This is actually not a quote, but it's a video. But I rarely share them on my page. I watch them from time to time if someone sends me something that's good. But I rarely share them because I don't like that mindset of hype. I don't like it for sustainability purposes, because I feel like it's a very short-lived thing. But I like the kind of the thought process because it kind of explains kind of where I'm at, and I share with the guys like what's going on with my business, with my mindset. And I think this can be applicable to other facets. This can be if you're someone that's getting to a point in your career, school, family, business. A lot of times what hurts us is not the failing in the process. It's once we get there and achieve greatness of whatever that is, to whatever caliber, being so satisfied and content where makes us go down a path of just contentment, laziness, not applying ourselves anymore, not having another goal. I think as a human being, we fundamentally need to have another target, another sense of purpose. This is authors, entrepreneurs, personal trainers, people in their fitness journey, and we'll kind of give different examples, but the analogy was from the alligator was an alligator is a very vicious animal that can kill a lion. It just has that much power in its bite. But you can actually go and basically kill an alligator. This guy used with your bare hands, which I don't want to try that literal, but
Please do not attempt this at home.
Yes. Because once an alligator eats, if they were to eat and get satisfied, they become very content and they almost go into a state of being paralyzed, where they just float, and they're very vulnerable to being attacked and, killed from other animals and predators that may have the ability to kill them. But obviously they're massive, not likely, but you know what I'm saying? So it's no different than if you're hungry, you're going for your goals. In my case, if I'm building a business and I'm doing well and I have a number that I'm trying to hit and I do it, depending on where I'm at mindset wise, I can fall into the trap of just like anyone else, getting complacent, being okay, cool, I got it. What else? If I don't set in that moment or within that short amount of time another goal, I run the risk of going backwards. And I think that this is something that happens to most of us, whether that's like we said in life or in your own personal health and fitness journey. I'll kind of leave it open here for the guys to, what do they think?
So it's, you're kind of describing the plot of Rocky 3, essentially. Right? So he gets the championship, he kind of takes some people that weren't, up to his par. Then he's just like, whatever. And then what happens to him? He gets knocked the hell out by Clubber Lang. So this makes, so this speaks to, I feel like anyone and everyone can relate to this either currently or at some point, any point in their time, in their life that they've experienced something like this, where it doesn't necessarily, you mentioned greatness. I mean, it could have just been goal. It could have been, hey, I just got this promotion at work, great, awesome. I'm here kicking ass. Then all of a sudden I'm just like, let me just cut a corner here, cut a corner there. And then all of a sudden I'm really not producing much of anything. And that's, either in a corporate setting or even in like, you mentioned as personal trainers as well, you kind of get complacent and you just stop having that drive and that passion that you had when you first went on this endeavor, this journey, as you are climbing up that mountain, so to say. Now that you're at the top of whatever mountain it is, it could have been just whatever, it could have been, hey, I just wanted to go for this job. I wanted to go for this lift. I wanted to hit, I don't know, 315 on a bench or whatever. Hey, I got it. And now I can kind of like slack off just a little bit. So it's just, that's why I think like this is something that anyone can relate to at some point in their life. And you need to, just like if someone were to give you a lower leg kick, check it and, come back and not let that take you out and just, reevaluate where you're at and have and get that passion again, get that drive. And I think this is when those, mention those videos where it can be kind of like hype and it's so, just it's not sustainable. But sometimes for situations like this, wouldn't that be a good option to go to? Or sometimes you just need to hear something to kind of get you back on the right headspace, get you back on the right path of where you want to go to, because you've been veering off. We've mentioned before where, if you adjust, 1 degree, for X amount of time, you're going to go veer so much off of your path. That can happen negatively as well. So you can kind of just be slacking off, whatever. And holy shit, I'm just way off of where I need to be or where I want to be. So let's just get back on that path by watching this video, listening to this podcast, watching a YouTube video of the Next Level show. But whatever it is for you is just best to get you back in the right place.
Yeah, I think this is important for everybody. I mean, these goals don't have to end in millions of dollars or millions of followers or anything tangible that means anything to anybody other than you. I think possibly the most important part of this is that you're almost kind of competing with yourself in a certain type of way. When I think about this, I just experienced this week where I was so incredibly used to one system at one gym, and now I'm thrown into a completely different setting with different people in a completely different system to learn. And I actively pursued this, so it was kind of interesting. But I found myself like almost doubting myself. Like, did I really make the right decision? Am I really capable of doing this? And it kind of like checked my ego almost, because I was very comfortable there. I could do anything at that gym to the T, and I had it down. Now I'm in a new place, and it's kind of like upsetting my comfort level, which is a very, very good thing. That's how I'm growing. So it's almost like you're challenging your own self-beliefs in a certain type of way, and you're also kind of, to go with the checking analogy that Gabe so eloquently put, you're checking your own.
Don't be the kicky.
Don't be the kicky, and don't be the one that's kicking you and making you the kicky. I mean, you're kind of checking your own like self-doubts and challenging yourself in that way. So
Doesn't the kick E check the kicker?
Yes.
Okay.
my brain can't do that math right now. But it's a great way to grow. That's really what we're pursuing here. I mean, whether it's growth in learning a new way to crochet a sweater, or it's growth in a new way to learn how to become a better personal trainer. I mean, this is how you keep yourself.
Analogy. So like,
I actually just watched Demolition Man, which is where I got that from. But
it's for our 80-year-old women that's listening to this.
Or a rehab Sylvester Stallone rehabbed in 2036, whatever. But yeah, it's a way to keep you growing and progressing in life, and I think that's really important. Like Jonathan said, I mean, humans pretty much need this to be happy. If anybody's ever been in a rut, it's not the best place to be mentally. So sometimes what you need is to shake shit up and upset your comfort zone a little bit.
You know what? It brings me to a couple examples. Getting into a relationship and or getting married. Some people, that is like their goal, and when they get there, that relationship falls out down the road from complacency, being paralyzed, not putting the same amount of effort, being that person that you were to get into that situation. Another example is when a person competes and maybe never developed the true understanding and the value of fitness, and they just looked at competing as the pinnacle. They compete, they get into amazing shape, and then they completely fall off and gain weight back and go back to the way they used to be. And it's a dangerous place to be, because there is more a negative repercussion from that consequence of being completely like just letting go and not applying yourself, that it can be more painful than the actual process itself, or the struggle that you went through to get to that point. I think it's something to keep in mind with like a lot of the things that you do, and examine that. Take a look, just, think to yourself after this show, kind of what are some things that, you notice that you may be falling a victim to. It hit me because I noticed certain areas of my life where I was like, damn, business wise, I'm kind of slacking a little bit. Maybe no one will know, because only I know what I'm producing, only know what I'm capable of what I've seen. And if I'm honest with myself and I tell myself the truth and don't sugarcoat it, it's like, oh shit, I'm satisfied right now, and I'm getting complacent, and I'm seeing some stuff happen as a result. It's just something that I want to instill with into our listeners. Takeaway is, it's okay to enjoy the fruit of your labor, but never stay there too long. Make another goal. It doesn't have to be major. It just have a sense of direction. You don't want to stay in standby and just hover there. You need to move and keep progressing and take it to the next level.
Hello.
Hi-way-o. I didn't give Gabe time to prepare for his horn. But it's something that I think that it's simple, easy, tangible. It's applicable to all facets. Any listener that checks this out. So if you share this with someone, hopefully they take some value from it.
2 points that you kind of hit there that I wanted to come back to. One was the analogy of like, in a relationship. Speaking of, tell me how, while we were over there, we get up in the morning, Me and Jennifer were up, we're kind of getting things done or getting ready for the day in the hotel, like, brushing our teeth or getting ready. And then the oldest wakes up and then she goes, "Oh, yeah, happy anniversary, mom and dad." And then we look at each other. Oh, shit. Did we forget?
Oh, bro. Hey, at least you both forgot.
We totally did. So we celebrated our anniversary while we were out there where the hell were we? Atlanta on the 13th, 17 years. And during those 17 years, it has been times where and not purposefully, that I just kind of like, slack on putting in that effort that I did, when I first was courting Jennifer. But it is something that is that not the phrase?
Bro, you just aged yourself.
Is that not what you say? What do you? So it's something where, and then I looked at myself and I kind of like said, I need to start doing some extra stuff again, just like I did before. And I didn't stop because I was just like, whatever, the hell with her. It's just something that just happens, letting life get in the way. So you need to just chill and kind of like we keep on saying. I don't know. It's like a drinking game. You got to just check yourself. What is that now? Probably like the 10th, 15th time we've said that. Anyways, while we count up those times, something else that you mentioned, you were that no one else knows what you're capable of. So to someone else, you could be working at 100% capacity, right? To like, for instance, your 50% where you're at right now could be my 100%. So that's another reason, that's another way as
That's
to why
that example translates to squatting capacity.
this is true. This is true, as well as our height differential.
My
So,
tallest will be like your 30% capacity.
um, no, and it's another way for us to not compare ourselves. And sometimes when we do compare ourselves, it kind of lets us maybe even not put out as much as we can of ourselves. So because we're just like, well, why the hell am I going to put out as much or give any more effort, because I'm never going to be as good as as good as personal trainer as John is, or in business. Don't compare yourself to him, compare yourself to you, and know what you're capable of and what you can do and what you can put out there, and just work as hard as you can. And to someone else, my you know you know 80% could be someone else's 100%. So maybe even think about it that way.
But I don't want to give that to the point where I like the no comparison thing. But if you know you're not putting in, if you start
Oh
dwindling
yeah.
off, definitely check yourself on that and push forward. Or if you've reached that point where it's like you accomplished the notches. Like when I left the gym that I used to work at, I knew that I had hit my pinnacle and I was gonna start to dwindle off and die down, from passion, from just the desire to be there was not there anymore. And I'm like, dude, I gotta level up. I gotta go to that next part of my life that's gonna challenge me and get me afraid, scared, nervous. I have to feel that the same thing that I did when I stepped into that building. I need to feel that again. And I'm not feeling that no more, that fear. I'm comfortable now in this stage. No, I now have to take another business endeavor to give myself that hunger to want to continue to grow. And I think that regardless of what it is, whether it's relationships, business, school, career, whatever, there always has to be that next thing. Not because you're ungrateful. It's a difference. It's being grateful with yourself, with the people around you, with what you accomplish, acknowledge those things, quick pat on the back, and then move on. Because if you get stuck in that rut, I was okay. Quick is I was getting, I could have stayed where I was and kept getting the praise from the people above me. You're doing so great. You're our top trainer, blah, blah, blah. Great. That no longer serves you after a certain point. If you become that guy, go to another place where you're not that guy. You're not the best. You're not the smartest. It matters. It puts you in a position where the only option is to fight and survive and dominate. I mean, it just depends on obviously the circumstance, but you know what I'm
It's
saying.
humbling. It's humbling is what you're getting at. Yeah, I mean, that's that's a I don't know. I think it's a perfect way to kind of end it. Is just to kind of like stay humble. I mean, yeah, take that moment, be king of the mountain for a moment. You could be king of the mountain while you're still being humble and still pursuing that next big thing. You could still be patting your back while eyeing the horizon and seeing what's next. I mean, these don't have to be separate things. You can do all of this all at the same time. So I mean, I just wanted to say, I challenge you, just go and like find something, pursue something bigger, get out of your comfort zone, because seriously, I'm in the middle of it right now. And I am actually, this whole entire week, I've been extremely nervous every single day and feeling almost to the point of overwhelmed, which is.
But you seem more fired up right now, ironically enough. You're more tired.
Yes,
I
you're
am
more mentally burnt out, but you seem more, you seem bright, if that makes sense.
I feel
Invigorated.
stimulated. I feel stimulated. Like I am being challenged again. You know, I was told that I was a stud earlier, but that's neither here nor there. So
did someone use a stud finder to get that?
No, it was from a picture after I completed a challenge that was given to me. I was challenged with signing 6 people up with like a kickoff, which is like an assessment basically.
Yeah.
And I was bricks this morning, dude. I'm not even kidding you. But I went out, I fucking swallowed all of my awkwardness and just said, fuck it, I'm gonna go do this because I don't want to disappoint my new manager. And I went out and I got my fucking 6 members. So done.
Fuck yeah, man.
You know what Mike did
it was super awkward, bro. I don't like talking to people like that, but I fucking did it. And I'm excited to go do it again tomorrow.
So at the last gym. So essentially Mike completed the game. And what do you do when you complete the game? You go to New Game Plus. Yeah. New Game Plus. That's Absolutely. What you just did.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it.
Keep all the equipment, cool cosmetics.
So as I guess a final point that I'd like to make is just go out there, see where you're at. You can only evaluate how much effort or how much capacity you're putting out there, and just start working harder than an ugly stripper.
Zing. I like that.
So I saw that as
me on the freaking air, bro. I almost choked on this water.
You're welcome. This is what you missed. This is what you missed the past couple of days.
This is a thing where I can't do a solo episode every single time because I was just talking to myself. It was fine because thank God I talk forever. But hey, man, this is why this show works. All right, boys, wrap us up. Do the thing.
Can I go? Would you mind if I go?
Go for it.
So in I guess in honor of, was it last? See, I still don't know what the hell day this is. Anyway, 4th of July. So did you guys hear about that guy that let the fireworks go off in his lap?
No.
But he doesn't have the balls to do that again.
Oh my. R.I.P. Okay, so here's a little riddle for you. What has 10 letters and starts with gas?
Gasoline.
Yeah.
An automobile.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. But does gasoline have 10 letters?
No, automobile has 10 letters. It starts with gas. A car starts with gas.
Gasoline has 8.
Fuck. I was just like taking just a quick, thought.
It was a good guess.
An electric vehicle doesn't start with gas. You dated yourself with that joke.
Some bitch.
All right, listeners, we're back in business. The Next Level Show. If you guys like this episode, you already know the drill. Go ahead and comment, subscribe, give a thumbs up, 5-star rating and review wherever you're listening to this platform. Continue to share if you feel like this is share worthy, which I don't see why not. On all seriousness, tag us, screenshot it, put it on your social media, tag us so we can personally thank you. Call us on Instagram at The Next Level Show. I even forgot how to do an outro. Follow my personal page at John Alva Fitness. Gabe is at Prime and Glory. And Mike is at Mike Nillis P.